Unhealthy people shit in the river they drink from and call it progress and innovation. We pollute the oceans and cut down the forests that produce the air we breathe. We poison the soil and the water that grows our food, all in the name of economic progress and innovation. This is not progress. This is ignorance. And it's costing us our health and our planet. When I look at the state of the world, my heart hurts because of how disconnected we've become with ourselves, our communities, and nature. We've forgotten that in order for us to live in harmony with nature, we first need to be in harmony with ourselves. This disconnection has led to 1.9 billion people worldwide being overweight or obese, and cancer, the leading cause of death worldwide, even though a third of cancer deaths are preventable by changing to a healthy lifestyle. This disconnection from living the natural way costs us not only our health, but our environment. Not only are we sick, we're making nature sick. 40% of insect species are threatened with extinction, and the main driver of the decline is pesticides and habitat loss by converting healthy land into intensive forms of agriculture. It's estimated we have only around 60 years of topsoil left to grow food, and according to biologists, we are on the precipice of the sixth mass world extinction within the next few generations if we do not change course. We're really at a critical crossroads, which is what inspires me to do this talk. Because what type of world do you want to leave your children? Whether you believe climate change is man-made or not, we are all custodians of the earth. We have a responsibility to pass down this beautiful blue planet in a better condition for the next generation. I have a dream. I have a dream for a better future for our children and our children's children. One where we live in harmony with nature by being in harmony with ourselves. What if the way to heal climate change is by healing ourselves? Growing up, my interest in health started when I was a teenage boy because I had horrible acne. I mean, pizza face acne that crushed my self-esteem. And I tried many things to heal my acne, including antibiotics, topical creams, pharmaceutical drugs, and even 3-day apple fasts and enemas. Nothing helped long term. The pharmaceutical drugs, they did clear my acne for a while until I had to stop taking them because of the side effects. I became angry and I couldn't be in the sun very long, and I struggled to even go to the bathroom because the drugs were drying out my skin. When I stopped taking them, my acne returned with vengeance. It felt like no matter what I did, nothing worked. And the only thing I could think of was the reason was that it must be something wrong with me. And I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but it's a horrible feeling to think that there must be something wrong with you. It was only when I tried an alternative approach and I saw a holistic doctor that he helped identify the underlying root cause instead of just treating the symptoms, that my acne finally cleared. When we changed what I ate, my acne never returned. It was in this moment that a seed was planted that stirred in me this desire to learn more about how I could heal my body and become the best version of me. This desire would take me all around the world to learn about holistic health. From studying Chinese health, martial arts, and energy medicine, living with a master in a little village in China, to visiting the Amazon jungle, exploring plant medicine with shamans, to even doing Native American sweat lodge ceremonies and finding spiritual gurus and healers all around the world. What I started to see was, as I healed myself by finding the healing qualities in nature, I began to live more in harmony with nature. When I look back at what I learnt over this time, I'm able to boil it down to 7 universal principles that heal our body and the planet. What I want to do is share 3 of these principles with you that if we all lived, will heal climate change and at the same time heal ourselves. The first principle is move. So many of us don't move enough, and we live a sedentary lifestyle. Sure, most of us know that moving our body is good for us, but we don't recognize the impact doing so has on creating a healthy planet. The second principle is nourish. How we nourish our bodies impacts our health and the health of the environment. Most of us think that if we buy vegetables and fruits from our grocery store, that they must be healthy. But not all apples are created equally. And what we call food today is devoid of the nutritional value these things had 60 years ago because of how we have farmed the soil. When we buy produce such as non-organic fruits, vegetables, and meats, these are sprayed with artificial chemicals. These are called pesticides and have been linked to cancer and ecological destruction. As I said before, 40% of insect species are threatened with extinction due to pesticides and habitat loss. But it's not only about what we eat, it's also about what we throw out. 1/3 of the world's food is wasted, yet 820 million people go hungry every day, and food waste produces 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. If food waste was a country, it would be the 3rd largest emitter behind the USA and China. Throwing away one burger wastes the same amount of water as having a 90-minute shower. Just in Australia, if people stopped food waste, the greenhouse gas saving would be the equivalent of taking 2.8 million petrol cars off the road, or saving the energy of 1.6 million homes in a year. When we really understand that our individual choices have a flow-on effect to the greater whole, we begin to realize that we vote for the world we want with our buying decisions. By just switching some things around, buying organic meat and vegetables, and reducing our individual food waste, we vote for a sustainable world where our animals, people, and planet live in health and harmony. We heal climate change by healing ourselves. The third principle is breathe. Our breath is our first connection to life. If you've ever looked at the human lungs, you can't help but see a similarity by the way they branch out and the way trees branch out. The oxygen we breathe comes from the trees and from the oceans in the form of living organisms called phytoplankton. We have this symbiotic relationship where we breathe in oxygen and they absorb our carbon dioxide. But how unaware are we? We actually cut down the source of our own air. We cut down 80,000 acres, which is 300 square kilometers of tropical rainforest each day. That's roughly the size of a city like Dublin or Philadelphia. We lose in a rainforest every day. And as the forests fall, we are also losing around 50,000 species a year. And just like the forest, the ocean is home to an array of life. 50 to 80% of all life on Earth and biodiversity is in our oceans. Yet many of us don't know the impact buying plastic has on the ocean and the quality of the oxygen we breathe. Sure, we get plastics ending up in the ocean isn't good, but most of us don't know that doing so cuts off our own oxygen supply, because plastics and microplastics, from water bottles to disposable coffee cups and exfoliants in beauty products, are destroying our oceans and marine life. They are interfering with the ocean's capacity to absorb and sequester carbon dioxide. Microplastics interfere with the phytoplankton's ability to fix carbon deep into the ocean, preventing it from re-entering the atmosphere. As I said before, half of the oxygen we breathe comes from the phytoplankton. And you know what stimulates them to be healthy? The poo of sperm whales. That's how interconnected we all are in this great circle of life. When we start to see the link between our individual choices and the impact it has on the environment and our own health, we begin to make better decisions. For example, it takes 3 liters of water to manufacture just 1 bottle of water, and 700 years for that plastic bottle to start decomposting. Something so simple like carrying a reusable water bottle or a reusable coffee cup is something simple that, if everyone did, would change the world. If you only take one thing from this talk, realize this: when we follow nature's way using 7 principles — think, breathe, hydrate, nourish, move, rejuvenate, and connect — we create healthy people and a healthy planet. By living in harmony with nature, we live in harmony with ourselves, and then our best self emanates. This is how we change the world. This is how we create a better tomorrow for our children and our children's children, by us choosing to be better today. When you really take the time to observe nature, you realize she doesn't work like most people would have you believe. It's not eat or be eaten. It's not give or take. Nature actually works like this: giving for re-giving. There's a scene in my favorite movie that really sums it up. If you've ever seen the movie The Lion King, there's a scene where Mufasa says to his son Simba, "Everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. As king, you need to understand this balance and respect all creatures, from the crawling ant to the leaping antelope. Because when we die, our bodies become the grass, and the antelope eat the grass. And so we are all connected in the great circle of life." Maybe the climate challenges we face are actually a mirror of our own collective ill health. If we want to see a change in our environment, it starts with us changing our health. There's a Sufi poet that I love called Rumi, and his quote is how I want to end this talk. Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself. Healthy people have healthy thoughts and take healthy actions. Our world is in desperate need of such people. What I'm saying is that you matter, we matter, and together we heal climate change by healing ourselves. Thank you.